Welcome back to the party, everybody. This is Morty, and I am your host, Fletch, aka the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Guys, let's party. So, oh my goodness, this story, I honestly never thought that I would see this type of story. For those of you who are not familiar with UFC or any of that stuff, really quick, Jake Shields is a retired fighter who I believe was champion at one point of the 170-pound division. So not only was he, legit UFC fighter, but he was the champion. And even if he wasn't specifically the champion in UFC, I think he was, I don't remember. He was definitely champion in other organizations and has put on crazy good fights and is a legit fighter. Apparently had some kind of challenge to for anybody to fight them, and a 5-foot-tall trans man, meaning biological female, said that they would take up the offer. So it's just as weird as it sounds. Let's go to Tim.
All right, let's bring it on. Jake Shields says that he wants to fight trans men. Let me break the story down for you. But Mac Beggs, a biological female and trans man, has seemingly accepted the challenge. And the degree of absurdity here, wow.
So, okay, apparently he did put out an actual challenge. Jake Shields put out the challenge that for a trans-identifying female to fight. Hey, Splits, what's good, brother? I do streams every other day, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, and sometimes whenever I feel like it. And right now, I feel like it. So welcome to the party.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Jake Shields is an MMA fighter. And let me start from the beginning so you can understand this.
Please do.
I really don't believe this fight would happen because if it did happen, it would be over in probably 10 seconds. No question. Let me read this. Let me read this news from you from the Post Millennial. And then we'll talk about the absurdity of the leftist ideology as it pertains to biological sex and men competing in women's sports, because this exemplifies it perfectly. From the Post Millennial. Trans-identified female MMA fighter accepts challenge to fight male UFC champion. I don't know that Mac Beggs is an MMA fighter. I suppose I could be wrong, but I thought Beggs was a wrestler.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. So this person's not even an MMA fighter in and of themselves? You realize that Jake Shields has knocked people flat out cold of his own size. He fights in the fought in the welterweight division, which you cut down to 170 pounds. So when you weigh in, you have to be 170 pounds, and they will suck every ounce of liquid out of their bodies. It's a drastic process if you're not familiar, but they might weigh 170 pounds the weigh-in the day before. But by the time they get back to the cage in 24 hours, or a little more than that, he might be up over 200 pounds.
Mac Beggs has accepted former
Mac Beggs is the person.
UFC fighter Jake Shields' challenge to a fight, according to Outkick. Beggs accepted the offer in a now deleted Instagram post and said, "I'm specifically going to F you up, Jake Shields."
It's now deleted, but we have it right here. And Jake's saying, this thing thinks it can beat me in a fight. Specifically going to F you up, Jake Shields. And then talking about the article that we're going over right now.
You're not. It's not going to happen. Okay,
nope.
No beef. Just no. Let me read more. On April 20th, Shields challenged the 10 toughest trans men in the world to a fight. After 5 hours, the post had over 1 million views, but still no challengers.
Okay, so the 10 toughest trans men in a fight. 10 of them versus him. That's what the challenge, as I understand.
Shields said, "I fight them with no training camp and no rest between each fight."
Okay, so it's one after the other, after the other, after the other. Not 10 at a time, but one after the other.
I got to be honest. No rest between each fight. That's a bold statement.
Is it though? Do you need to rest between each punch? You don't. That's all it's going to take.
Because fighting 10 people of any stature with no rest, But I mean, it's entirely, I don't know, man.
Tim doesn't watch UFC. I watch all of the UFC and easy money.
Look, I recognize that Jake Shields would probably win every one of those fights, but 10 of them back to back with no rest? Maybe.
Yup.
Beggs said in a statement, "We are just going to make this an official call out, but Jake Shields, I will take you up on your offer. But the offer isn't going to be 10 versus 1 and 10 trans men you're going to be fighting for the rest of the night," Beggs continued. Okay. You're going to do it right. If you're going to call yourself a fighter, do it effing right. Like, that's just effing disrespectful. It's disrespectful to the sport of MMA for you to just be like, oh yeah, let me just call out 10 trans men and I'll effing whoop them.
That's the point. I would assume that you're not actually males. I almost tripped up there. You're not actually males. So you can't compete. This whole thing is obviously, as an athlete, is going to be centered around the idea of trans people in sports. And, you know, obviously it's not as big of a deal for females who want to compete with males because that's their decision. But it's obviously to focus on the inverse of where biological males are competing with females.
It's the fact that y'all are so fixated and hyperfixated and have some effing fetish with trans women that you even forget that we effing out here and we're going to F you up. Shields responded to the news on Twitter saying, "My offer is legit, so have them contact me and they can start putting together their team." Shields posted a picture of Beggs and said, "This thing thinks it can beat me in a fight." I don't see any reason to bring it to that level, man. You know,
I agree,
you know, one of the issues I take with the whole Mac Beggs controversy, let's go back in time 5 years. Mac Beggs is biologically female. Mac Beggs wanted to compete against males. I believe if a female wants to compete against males, they should be allowed to do it if they want. Not the other way around.
Not the other way.
If the females agree, I mean, right? Like, I think if a female wants to enter the males division, like, okay, like, see how far you can get. If the male wants to enter a female division, no, sorry, we don't go in that direction. Mac Beggs.
We don't go both ways. And guys, if you're enjoying this, there is a link in the description for the party to never end. That is right. The party rages on in the Indian Jesus Discord server. There's a link in the description, and I'll have one in the pinned comment after the live here. It is a fantastic time. We are always there hanging out. And after every single stream, we head on over to a panel discussion where you're not behind a keyboard. You can actually talk with me and the other members. Come and check it out.
Had photos posted by conservatives all the time saying, like, we shouldn't let men fight women. And it's like, dude, Mac Beggs is female. Mac Beggs wants to compete against males. And so they got all that wrong.
Go for it.
I don't think we need to take it to this thing territory, but let's read more.
I agree. The whole this thing is a little bit more antagonistic. Like, if you're trying to make a point, make the point. And the point is supposed to be that we're not trying to be offensive or anything like that. We're just dealing with reality. So when you say this thing, it kind of waters down your message a little bit.
Beggs is a biological female who made headlines in 2017 for winning a state wrestling championship in the girls division while taking testosterone. Beggs also featured
amazing. I'm sure that testosterone had nothing to do with her winning. I'm sure she was fantastic before all that.
ESPN's 30 for 30 to discuss the controversies surrounding competing in the girls division after Beggs was denied entry to compete in the boys division.
We got Ziggs in the building. What's good? We got a trans man trying to fight Jake Shields. Yeah, that Jake Shields.
Due to state law. Shields is a former UFC fighter who hasn't fought professionally since he lost to Ray Cooper III in October of 2018.
Oh, well, then I guess that changes everything.
And is he 44? I don't know if Jake Shields genuinely wants to step back into the ring, into the octagon or whatever, and start fighting. But this is something different.
Very different.
Mac Beggs, I just want to say,
that's such an annoying name too. Mac Beggs.
You should probably just come out and apologize.
Yep.
Not in the sense that you have to agree with Jake Shields' political opinions or anything like that, but maybe be like, yeah,
I didn't know what I was biting off when I bit off more than I could chew.
Shouldn't come out and say F, F this, F that. I'm going to F you up and stuff like that. You shouldn't do that. Jake Shields should not refer to Mac Beggs as a thing. I think, we got to tone things down a little bit. But the thing about Mac Beggs, you're never winning a fight against Jake Shields. Sorry. To be honest though, if this fight were to happen and Vegas gave odds, I would bet on Mac Beggs. I mean it. And I gave that little pause for suspense. You know why I would bet on Mag Beggs? It has nothing to do with who I think is going to win. It has everything to do with the value
The betting
proposition of the bet.
line. That's to be like 10,000 to 1.
If I can put up $1 to win 10 grand, I'm going to
Exactly.
take it. Wouldn't you? Who cares? The dollar, you could win 10 grand. Now, I probably just would lose the dollar, but hey,
It's
you know,
$1.
I don't know. It's $1.
Why not?
It's
right?
like I could buy a cheeseburger, or I could say I got a 1 in, a million chance of winning $10, $10,000. Let me show you why Mac Beggs will never win. This is from Life University Athletics. Mac Beggs, the wrestlers roster. I believe this is, Mac Beggs' wrestling roster.
So for those of you, again, who are not too familiar with UFC or MMA, mixed martial arts, the wrestling is a huge part of mixed martial arts, but they call it mixed martial arts because it also has a lot of other stuff. And if all you can do is wrestle, it ain't going to happen. All fights, every round of that fight starts on the feet, meaning using your hands and your feet.
2018 to 2019, 5'2", 125 pounds.
So you remember, I said Jake Shield fights at 170, and that's 170 on weigh-in day. This person is barely shorter than me. Hey, we got JB in the building. McDonald's, dollar menu.
Why would that not be the case? You see, this is the thing people need to understand. Trans men are biological females who have taken testosterone. Their female bodies exhibit secondary sexual characteristics of males, but they do not have male bodies. They have female bodies.
Yep.
In the 2020 to 2021 year, Mag Beggs still 5'2", 125 pounds. Jake Shields is 6'0",
6'0"? You mean like 6 foot?
170 pounds.
Again, on weigh-in day.
Welterweight, middleweight. I'm sorry.
Oh, so he's fought at middleweight? So middleweight, the weight cutoff for middleweight is 185 pounds. So he's weighed in at, he's cut weight to end up at 185 pounds and then got all that hydration for the next day. So he was definitely walking around over 200 pounds.
We do not put a 6 foot tall, 170 pound biological male in the ring with a 5'2" biological female who weighs 125 pounds. We have divisions for this reason.
Even the divisions wouldn't help. Like even if you were a male, this is still not a fight that we would ever put on. It would be like me, a smaller me, fighting Jake Shields. For those of you who don't know, I'm 5'4". This person is 5'2".
I don't know how much people really want to watch a fight between the heavyweight champion of the world and like the featherweight champion.
Exactly.
It might be interesting. There might be some interesting dynamics I don't quite understand. Probably.
Yeah, it definitely would be interesting, but definitely never going to happen.
I'm not a fight guy.
I am.
But I just got to say, I'm going to go ahead and say that if you want free money, you put your money down on Jake Shields.
Mm-hmm.
I'm being
facetious.
I'm speaking hypothetically, of course. No financial advice. I'm just saying, if that fight ever were to happen, maybe the smartest thing to do is take $100 and put it on Jake Shields because you get a free $1. Guaranteed free $1. I mean, maybe it'll be 10 cents because I don't even know if Vegas would be willing to cover any losses from Mag Beggs. But, basically the way it'll work is everybody's going to put money up and then that money is what's used to cover, the inverse. But let's just be real. If you bet money on Jake Shields for every $1, you probably win less than a penny, a tenth of a penny, if that. Because I don't think anybody genuinely believes that a 6'0", 170 pound MMA fighter is going to lose a fight to a 5'2", 125 pound biological female.
So, I mean, that's the story, guys. That's the story. This 5'2" female wrestler, barely out of, high school? Barely out of high school, is trying to fight a veteran UFC champion. This can only happen. This can only happen when you have a level of delusion that is unfathomable to me, really. I do not understand how you could end up thinking that it is a good idea for you at 5'2". Even if you were 6 foot, if you were a 6 foot female, that would still be a terrible idea. What is happening in the world, guys? I don't get it. Where's Mac Begg's friends? Where's Mac Begg's LGBT community telling him maybe this isn't such a good idea? Maybe that dude would end your life in seconds in any way he wanted to. It's ridiculous. I think I mean, again, it's just the entitlement. I mean, I don't understand how it can get this far. Zig says, seems like this trans man pushing pipe dreams. No pun intended. Exactly. I don't know. It's just, like I said, I was so blown out of the water. Again, look at he has Brazilian jiu-jitsu. He's from Cesar Gracie. He's got a black belt here, Division II wrestling. And then, of course, like I said, every fight starts on the feet. So you have to know how to, do typical boxing or Muay Thai, all of that stuff. And yeah, welcome to the party, Steel C. He said, yeah, bro, no way in the world a girl wins. It's just not happening. It just can't happen. And I was saying even a 6-foot guy and a 6-foot girl is not going to happen. This trans man is 5'2". Where are their friends? I hear all day about the LGBT community. Part of that community should be, I don't know, taking into account how to keep yourself safe. No? I don't know, guys. Like I said, this was just a crazy story that I just had to share with you. Just a short one. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Once again, this is Morty, and I have been your host, Lutch, a.k.a. The Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Check me out live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, and I drop videos like this every single day. Catch us in the Discord server. Hey, we got Mind Melted Media in the building. Another awesome YouTuber there. Give me 1 second here. I definitely want you guys to go check him out. Drop that link in the bio. For those of you on the replay, check out Melted Mind Media. And of course, as Splits is saying, drop in at the Discord link in the description. Thank you so much, guys. You have a good one. Until next time, we are out of here. Peace.